Hello and welcome back to another video. We are continuing my Time Star Wars magazine collection. Last week we looked at episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and now this is the first issue looking into episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It is dated at the April 29th, 2002 from Time magazine, with Yoda on the front cover with Yoda Strikes Back. So after a couple of ads, we've got the table of contents, and yeah, definitely a big focus on Star Wars Attack of the Clones. There's also, I think, an interview with George Lucas, so that'd be cool, and just the table of contents of the other stuff that's in there. We'll briefly go over it, but we're mostly here for Star Wars. So in this book, we're going to definitely see events from 2002, a lot, unfortunately, about war stuff and everything as well. There's a notebook section here. We have the World Watch. So yeah, unfortunately, a lot of unsettling news, but this is what happened in these Time magazines. And there's a DVD ad as well for these two DVDs that I've never watched before. There's the Pacific Beat we have here, and there's also a cool little thing 22 years ago in time. I think it was about the Empire Strikes Back magazine for a time. Unfortunately, I don't have that one, but that would be a cool one to own. Here is one, is How Green is the White House, with the former President George W. Bush here. So we've got a big spread on here on the deadly era with the war in Afghanistan. So there is unfortunately going to be a lot of war stuff, but this was back in 2002. We've got a business section over here. We've got an article on the Honda Civic, why hybrids are hot. And then, over the page, we begin the Star Wars content finally, with an inside look at the new Star Wars episode on how the young Darth Vader fell in love, and the heart and soul of this epic series. So I will try and get as much content for it as I can, so you're able to pause the video and read the interviews and the writing and everything. I'll try and do my best. Now that is an epic picture. One of the probably the iconic and best scenes of Attack of the Clones. I actually do remember seeing that in the cinema, and that was, yeah, it was pretty insane. Send in the clones. And then we've got the first little article here. We've got a nice big spread of all the clones going into action. We have a Genosian gun. I think it's LS Sakura that's there. And then we've got Yoda down here. Yoda goes digital. Yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, this was actually the first film that Yoda actually went digital. Because in episode 1, originally he was a puppet. And then we've got the interview that continues, or the little article that continues over here. And we've got a very cool, the evolution of Star Wars. So I'll try and turn this around so you get a better look. But again, it's kind of like a family tree, or we'll see where everything connects. So yeah, you can see like Vader connecting to the ghost Anakin, and then yeah, with them spawning off with Luke and Leia. And then down the back here, we've got more little connections with Obi-Wan, C3, we've got Palpatine here, and some other things. So it's a pretty cool thing with a really nice set of Jango Fett as well, with the evolution of Star Wars. So over the next page, we've got a lot more going on. We've got a nice shot of George Lucas and a cool camera. I wonder what camera that is. I'll have to look it up. There's a sort of a dark side cloaked Anakin, so maybe a preview of what's to come. There's a Tatooine sequence. So I'll go back to this article. You guys can read if you like. And then from the director, we've got here, what's the deal with Leia's hair? So, yeah, maybe a little interview with George Lucas here. Well, that is the end of the Star Wars content, but not quite the book yet. We've got the book part actually here with a new book called, I think it's the Nanny Diaries, and then a little bit about the cons and pros of Botox. We've got a bit on technology, I think like a dinosaur wrestling Bill Gates, and then a little profile on The Rock. I think when his upcoming film was The Scorpion King, which was a spin-off of the Mummy films. So I've seen The Scorpion King. It wasn't the greatest film. It was better in the Mummy, but yeah, it's still cool to see The Rock in here, a younger version. And we've got the last section here is a bit of an essay, and then the last little ad here. And then over the page, we've just got an ad for Optus with those classic Optus phones I remember having. So there it is, the Yoda Strikes Back Episode 2 Time magazine, with a little bit of a focus on Star Wars. Not a big focus. I would have liked it a little bit more focused on Star Wars, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's still a really cool picture of Anakin right there, so you almost see some of his darker side come out in episode 2 a little bit, but more focused obviously in the Clone Wars in episode 3. So there is the episode 2 book. Join us next time in our Time magazine. We do have our final Star Wars Time magazine, that is the episode 3 book. So I will be back for that one. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next episode.